Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I know this probably isn't the kind of video that you were expecting from me, but yeah, I figured I wanted to do it. Now, there's Fortnite gameplay in the background because I've been playing it. Don't question things, okay? Anyway, you saw the title of the video. I want to rate sonic.exe, but I want to do a little bit more than just rate it. I want to rate the content made around it because it feels like sonic.exe kind of fell off. It just died really quickly. It was like one day there was just sonic.exe content everywhere, and then the next day it just kind of stopped. I don't really know why. I didn't really research into it. I'm just rating it, alright? But I'm gonna rate 3 things today, and all of them can be up to a scale of 10, meaning that at the end of this video, sonic.exe can have a rating of 30. But one category in particular doesn't really give me high hopes that sonic.exe is getting a rating of 30. Let's start with the real life content, shall we? A lot of the real life sonic.exe content that there is mostly things like this on screen, and basically, to sum this all up, it was really dumb. It was targeted and marketed more so, like, towards the children, because, you know, the children were gonna watch this, but I don't think sonic.exe is very appropriate for children. I mean, Tails literally gets ripped in half in almost, like, every single actual sonic.exe, like, you know, thing, like, an actual thing, like, bro, poor Tails. But, like, yeah, I don't know. The real life content was boring. It was mostly just, like, quote unquote 3 a.m. and, like, they'd order a McDonald's meal or they'd watch a Sonic movie, and then they hear, like, a bang, and then some dude in a terrible Sonic.exe, like, costume comes out and starts stealing their friends one by one. It was very mid. I'm gonna give this, like, a 3 out of 10. A 3 is generous. I'm giving it a 3 because these videos just, like, somehow got millions of views, and so that 3 is purely because of the view rating. But yeah, real life content gets a 3 out of 10. It really wasn't that good. It was really repetitive, and I don't think that I would actually go and watch this for more than, like, 10 minutes. Not even, like, 10 minutes. Like, it's so meh. So, like, bare bones. It's just not good at all. Now that the real life content has a rating, we are going to move on to animations. Animations were really popular on YouTube around sonic.exe, and there were a lot. I mean, a lot. Most of them just consisted of Sonic flying around, or not Sonic, what the fuck? I think this is why people do scripts. Anyway, most of them consisted of Tails flying around green hills, and then he'd find something suspicious, something like the critter's dead, or maybe some blood, something out of touch, out of place. And he'd explore further, and he'd find Sonic perfectly fine, and then he'd just get trapped and have to fly for his life. And then Knuckles, he'd be gliding around, then he sees something also suspicious, such as blood, and then he starts getting hunted. Eggman just got bullied. I guess it was for the best, but, yeah, that was basically the animations. They were cool, though. They were definitely well made. They deserve attention. I feel like, yeah, they were going off of the fact that Sonic was popular, but they actually put work into their stuff. They actually, you know, worked on the content that they were making, so it's acceptable. Animations, I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10. Would I watch them? Not really. They were good, but they were also kind of repetitive. But they were definitely well made, so I'm gonna give them a 6. Now we move on to the games. When I tell you there are so many of these, I mean there are so many of these. Markiplier and Cord Kenshin even played them. That's how popular they were. But for the most part, they also consisted of the same thing that the animations revolved around of. The animations were basically based off of the games, and essentially, to sum it all up, they would go out of their way trying to survive from sonic.exe by doing puzzles, or just straight up running from, like, death's grasp, basically. And then they would find the Master Emerald, and they would use it to try to defeat sonic.exe, and that's basically it. It was pretty interesting. It definitely looked difficult. I think they made the game really difficult, to be honest, but I think that's how it was intended to be. But yeah, it was very interesting. I would have to say that the game, I mean, the gameplay looked kind of cool. It looked pretty difficult, but I would have to say I give it maybe like a solid 8 out of 10. When it was in its prime and you were playing it for the first time, I feel like it definitely could have, well, I don't know about scary, but it definitely did have the aspect of it because it was pixelated like the actual Sonic game. If you gave this to your friend for the first time, I mean, they'd be excited. They'd be like, oh yeah, Sonic. And then, like, it just starts getting distorted and then bloody, and then you have to run from it. It was definitely interesting. I would say pretty good. I'm gonna rate the game like an 8 out of 10, to be honest. Now, these are our ratings, and this is my opinion on sonic.exe. 17 out of 30. I feel like it was good, but there was too much of it on YouTube. I feel like back then, like 4 years ago, 6 years ago, you could not escape this. It was really repetitive, if I'm gonna be honest, but I'm honestly kind of glad it's over. I don't mind if I see sonic.exe stuff about it, you know, every now and then, like a animation video or drawing, but yeah, I'm honestly kind of glad that it's dying down. I still do see a lot about it, though. I have, in fact, actually seen videos covering sonic.exe on why it, like, died down and stuff. But I didn't really want to cover why it died down. I just wanted to rate it since it has died down. But, yeah, that's basically this whole video. If you enjoyed, please let me know. I kind of wanted to do something different from gaming, but gaming is still in here. So, yeah, with that being said, have a good day, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you could, at least comment. I don't really care if you guys like the video or not, but a comment would be greatly appreciated. I don't even care what you comment on. Just comment all caps, haha, if you wanna. But yeah, have a good day.